Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's live commentary coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Heart of America 200 from the Kansas Speedway. And for you guys here today, we have a 200-mile, 134-lap race at, of course, the Kansas Speedway here for this one. It is the next round of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series seasons. We're clicking away races. We will mark the halfway point on the regular season once the checkered flag falls here tonight. As we go into the halfway point of the regular season, we'll take a look at those regular season point standings. Christian Eckes comes in with just a narrow 2-point lead over Corey Heim, the defending regular season champion in the Truck Series. Ty Majeski only 12 points out of first, sits third overall in the standings, was the points leader 2 weeks ago, of course, in the last race, but then fell out of the points lead after Christian Eckes was able to go to victory lane for the second time this season. That took place at Martinsville. Nick Sanchez is fourth in points, also within one race worth of the lead of Eckes, only 27 points out of first after he had won the season opener at Daytona, got himself off to a good start. He gained 2 positions in the standings after the race a couple weeks ago at Martinsville. Taylor Gray is in the top 5 of the point standings. Great season so far for him from a consistency standpoint. He's tied for the second most top 10s this season with Eckes, but no wins to show for yet for Gray. 38 points behind Eckes for the regular season championship. Tyler Ankrum is 43 points out of first and actually lost 3 points in the standings after his last run. Was third, now back to 6th, but still in the hunt there. Rajah Caruth with a win this season's locked into the playoffs, but he's also only 54 points out of first as the top 7 in the point standings, all within one race worth of points. Once again, a max points day is 60 points possible that you can score in one race, and that is due to winning both stages and winning the race as well. So that is, again, the max amount of points you can get. So within 60 points is Caruth, 54 out of first, even though he is 7th in the standings. We are, again, 7 races in. There are only 16 races in the regular season for the Truck Series. So, again, halfway through the regular season for the Truck Series. And we just flipped over into the month of May just this week. First race, obviously, in the month of May here this weekend. As far as the statistical category leaders go, most laps led this season far and away of the truck regulars is your points leader, Christian Eckes, with 337 laps led. He also has the most stage wins this year with 3, and he is the only truck regular to have more than one. Most top 10s on the season, though, goes to Corey Heim. He's finished in the top 10 in every race so far this season, so we'll see if he can continue that streak here into tonight, make it 8 for 8. Ty Majeski is at 5 top 10s on the season, just 1 behind Eckes, 2 behind Heim. And he is also tied with Rajah Caruth, also in the top 5 in the most top 10s. We look further to the cutoff line for the playoffs. Again, the drivers with a win who are locked in. 10 drivers qualify for the playoffs in the Truck Series. And we have Christian Eckes again with 2 wins. Corey Heim with a win this season. Nick Sanchez has a win. And Rajah Caruth has a win. So 6 spots still open. Tanner Gray, as of right now, sitting only 9 points above the cutoff line, and then the last spot in on points as of right now would be Grant Enfinger, who was in the championship 4 just a season ago. Enfinger only 5 points to the good on Daniel Dye. Dye having a pretty good season so far. Again, only 5 points below the cutoff line as he's 11th in points, gained 2 spots after his run at Martinsville a couple weeks ago. And as far as the other drivers and points behind him, Ben Rhodes, the defending champions out of the playoffs right now, 6 points to the negative behind Enfinger. Stuart Friesen, who missed the playoffs a season ago, in danger of maybe having that happen again. He has not had a great start. Still looking for his first top 10 this year is Friesen, but he has scored a lot of stage points. 17 points out of 10th is Friesen. Bailey Curry's 14th in points. Jake Garcia is 15th. Field getting the 1-to-go signal this time by, so we will be going green the following time by. Now that we've looked at the point standings coming into the race tonight, let's look at the starting lineup for your Heart of America 200 at Kansas. Chase Purdy on the pole in the 77 for Spire Motorsports. Spire Motorsports got a win on a 1.5 miles the last time in Vegas earlier this year where Rajah Caruth got his victory, so maybe Spire can get another 1.5 mile win. Kyle Busch also won at Atlanta on the drafty 1.5 mile track for Spire Motorsports earlier this season. Ty Majeski outside of the front row will be starting in second. Ty Dillon and Rajah Caruth in row number 2. Mentioned Caruth won at Vegas on a 1.5 mile earlier this year. Best start for Dillon in a race this season in the Truck Series. Connor Mosack in the 7 truck this weekend. He'll be on the inside of row 3 for the start. Daniel Dye to the outside of the row. 11th in points is Dye. Jake Garcia and Stuart Friesen in row number 4. Again, can Friesen finally break through to get his first top 10 of the year in race number 8? Only Cup regular in the field today will be Zane Smith. He's on the inside of row 5 with Christian Eckes to his outside. Defending series champion Ben Rhodes looking to bounce back into the top 10 in points after tonight's race. He starts on the inside of row 6 with Tyler Ankrum to the outside. Corey Heim and Matt Crafton will be in row 7 for this one. Heim locked into the playoffs with a win this year, and Crafton still looking for his first. Matt Mills and Grant Enfinger in row 8, mentioned last year. Enfinger was in the championship 4. To do that again this year, a win would be nice to locking himself into the playoffs. Right now, he's the last driver in on points. The Gray brothers, Tanner and Taylor, will line up in row number 9 with Taylor on the inside and Tanner on the outside. Brett Moffitt, former truck champion, will be on the inside of row 5 in the Tricon Garage 1 truck, and Cam Waters will start to his outside. And row 11 is going to be Bailey Curry and Dean Thompson. Caden Honeycutt and Brett Holmes will be in row 12. Row 13 is going to be Lane Riggs and Thad Moffitt. Row 14 for Spencer Boyd and Lawless Allen. Row 15 is going to be Mason Maggio and Jennifer Jo Cobb. Nick Sanchez, Timmy Hill starting deep in the field in row number 16. And row 17 rounding out the 33 truck field tonight is Mason Massey. So again, that is your starting lineup for today's Truck Series race. I should say tonight's Truck Series race under the lights at the Kansas Speedway. We're under the lights on an earlier mile and a half on a Friday night this season at Vegas. And we've had several night races this year, whether they be on Fridays or Saturdays for the Truck Series already this season. Checking pit road time, so I guess they have not quite gotten the one-to-go signal. I thought I saw the lights were out on the pace truck the last time by, but I guess they would have had to check pit road time, so we still may be another lap and a half of parade laps away from the drop of the green flag while we wait for the green flag to wave. Here is some of the FS1 booth. Again, tonight's race on Fox Sports 1. For those of you wondering where you can see the visuals of tonight's truck race.
Live from Kansas Speedway on FS1.
And it sounds like they're cutting a commercial, so never mind. Adam Alexander, Michael Waldtrip, and Carson Hocevar going to be on the call for this one. So Hocevar in the truck booth here this evening. That'll be an interesting one to hear from throughout the course of the night from the periodic times that I end up giving you guys the ability to listen into the commentary of the race. Quick shout outs for those of you watching the stream already that I see in the chat. Most of which I did see for the earlier stream with the practice and qualifying stream for the Cup Series. Frank Powers, Wade Solinsky, Kara Williams, Terry Lewis. See Regine Huddleston, Ronnie 20 Forever. Thanks for tuning in. Dan Bowers, welcome. May the 4th be with you. It is Star Wars Day. Candy Cox, thanks for tuning in. And Earl Arnold Jr. as well, welcome. Early votes in the poll that is open in the chat for who you think will win tonight's truck race at Kansas. 44 votes have been casted. 32% of you say somebody other than Eckes, Majeski, or Carruth will win. 23% say each of those three will win. So pretty tight right now in that poll.
Beat on Darlington. 1950 they built that racetrack. Wilkesboro even.
Is Hocevar not in the booth?
There's the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and then we wind up this 5 race.
Now, I was basing this off of what Mike Joy said during practice at qualifying earlier. He said that Carson Hocevar was going to be in the booth tonight. Apparently, that is not true.
A lot in common when you look at the next 5 tracks we'll see, and when we wrap things here tonight, we'll be halfway through the regular season. So that championship playoff picture starting to take shape. Let's go Team Radio 19, Christian Eckes. Isn't it great? They got this place circled to the playoffs. They want to make sure they got a good feel for what it's going to be like. But you know what, Adam? We come back to Kansas in the fall, so it'll be 100 degrees. So things could change dramatically. It was at least 20 degrees hotter last fall when we were here than it is today. A little bit surprised Chase Purdy here takes the bottom. That's his teammate out there. We know how important these restarts are. You want those pushes. Could you get a push from your teammate maybe at this first start? He decides to go low. We'll see how that works out. But we've got Ty Dillon behind him. Ty with a lot of experience. And I I think he probably believes he's going to get a pretty good push from Ty because it's certainly going to help him as well. They're going to go flat out through 1 and 2.
All right, couple Chevys on the inside lane leading us to the green. We're underway. Chase Purdy will take us to racing at Kansas under the lights. Already seeing one truck dive to the apron into the tri-oval off the start here. I believe that was Taylor Gray in the 17 looking to pick up a couple positions. Field running 2 and 3 wide all the way through turns 1 and 2. Purdy comes out with the race lead off the exit of the corner. Still 3 wide. Ty Dillon right in the middle of the 3 wide battle. Majeski to his outside. And it looked like the 91 truck into the middle, nearly 4 wide in the middle of the corner. And they are 4 wide, I believe, off the exit of turn 4 and into the middle of the tri-oval. It is a Hornet's Nest 5 wide. 5 wide, Kraft into the outside. These guys are racing like it's the last lap and it's the end of the first, and we already got a truck in the wall. Ty Majeski has cut a left front tire. Caution's out after running 5 wide at the end of the front stretch into turn 1. On lap 2, we have our first accident. Again, Ty Majeski and his left front tire has given way. He pounds the wall. One of the favorites for the race win tonight, already in early trouble.
I bet you he won't have ice cream with me before racing. Getting a lot of talk in the garage. We talked about Corey Heim, how strong he was. A lot of people talked about this 98 truck being one of the best in practice. See, he started fading right here. You can spark. Yeah, the left front's going low there. Only problem I'm worried about, Phil, is dragging the sway bar off as he gets his way back to the pits. It looked like a great deal of contact or damage, but
they might have been 6 wide. Looking at that replay.
Bouncing off the wall. It's a pretty good lick, though. Yeah, it was. He's in a bit of a bind. But we talked about the speed of the Fords and how it's been a struggle a bit for that group, and they had the speed, qualified well, and then bam, into that outside wall. Ford winless this season, and one of their best trucks having problems early tonight. Caution for Ty Majeski.
All right, so under caution for the first time today. Again, lap 2, turn 1. Ty Majeski's left front tire seemed to be down most of the way on the front stretch, but obviously he ended up hitting the wall, bringing out the caution on the other end of the track. Again, in turns 1 and 2, might have had some contact perhaps on the back straightaway. We saw cars, 2, 3, 4 wide even at moments. Honestly, on that replay, I definitely saw them go 5 wide. Crafton took him 5 wide in the middle of the tri-oval trying to get by Majeski, who was much slower in front of him with the flat tire. But they might have even been 6 wide just after that when they showed the replay from various camera angles on the front stretch. So surprised more trucks were not collected in any sort of an incident. Although with the caution coming out behind them, maybe if they would have had to race their way out of it, we might have seen something else happen there. But thankfully it didn't. We keep a lot of trucks in this race still. And I'm sure Majeski will be able to continue, but has obviously significant damage. We'll be interested to see if he can bounce back in any sort of way for at least a good finish. But obviously qualifying as well as he did, this is not the way he would have wanted to start this race. So Chase Purdy led the opening lap under green, and now he is still leading laps under caution after qualifying on the pole. All that action was going on behind him in the rearview mirror. He was able to clear Majeski, who was on the outside of row 1 on that restart by the time they got in the middle of 1 and 2. Great push from Ty Dillon, who was on the bottom of row 2. And Dillon ended up actually losing 4 positions, falling from 3rd to 7th off the start. 5 Chevys at the front. Highest running Ford is Ben Rhodes in 8th, and he's the only Ford in the top dozen. Once again, we are under a caution for the first time today on lap 2. 33 likes on the stream. Our goal is to get to 100 likes. So again, 100 likes is our goal for this truck race here tonight. Came close to that in the stream already here this evening. I think we ended up with 89 likes on the practice qualifying stream. Our goal was 50. So we're 1 for 1 with that. Maybe one of those messy races. I really hope not. But the truck series tends to go that way from time to time. I'd say more often than not. But although this year, outside of Daytona at the start of the season, they've been relatively clean, I will say. So I'll give them credit where credit's due on that behalf.
Caution here in Kansas.
Tire Majeski had it.
And go to Jamie.
Well, unfortunately, the crew did rush through the changes to get him back out there, which wasn't quite fast enough as he did not beat the pace car out, and now they have to come back to pit lane to continue the work that they've been cutting through. So it's gone from bad to worse, and they're just continuing to lose some racetrack time.
I will say, though, you lose a lap. You don't want to do that, certainly. But you got all kinds of time as this race unfolds, especially when we get to the end of the stages. You can find your way back onto the lead lap. The more important thing is making sure this thing is where it needs to be and it can go out. And you don't think it is, Mike? No, it's not anywhere near. I think you see all the concentration on that left front. That may be the repairs is what they're doing. Yeah, that could be that sway bar I was speaking of. That just drug the arm off of that left front.
And remember what happened back at Coda. Connor Zillich was in that 7 truck, had the pole, missed the first corner, slid the front tire, had to drive all the way around 3 miles, wore out that sway bar arm. They actually fixed it, got him back on the racetrack, only losing 1 lap. But again, that's a 3.5-mile road course. The caution flags are not near that long here.
And he didn't have any damage on the right front either. There's our buddy Nick Sanchez. I talked about him charging from the back. He's made up a little bit of ground. Up 7 spots. Hey, we're choosing. I think you see Chase Purdy go low because it worked so well the first time.
And we know these drivers are going to be able to run through that corner wide open, especially if they won't be quite up to speed throughout this race. So, shorter way around the racetrack.
It doesn't matter where you choose, right? Because in the first corner, you're going to be 4 or 5 wide anyway. Usually it doesn't take, maybe not that long. Not all, yeah, I was going to say the second little dog leg there, they're already spread out.
How about Connor Mozak there, going to restart on the front row?
Well, let's not forget. I know we talked about the fact he won the ARCA race, only his 2nd start of the year, and all those things. The reality is, pretty good truck for a team that's won twice this year, the 7. We have to put an asterisk on that because it was Kyle Busch, who's the best ever in the Truck Series with 66 career wins. But we know that group is quite capable, and time again, Carson has shown us what a talent he is.
Really, all of Spire has been really, really strong all year long.
And I talked to Connor's crew chief, Brian Patty. He said, I've got a pretty big playbook here tonight. We aren't worried about points, so if there's a chance to use strategy around these stage breaks, we could do just that. So it'll be interesting to see how they play it. Right now, I like that second row. You see Zane Smith right there on the back bumper of Chase Purdy. Daniel Dye with a great start. See who can push the hardest. That's what this is going to be about. Teammates on the front row, teammates on row 2. We'll get the green flag.
All right, pace truck pulls onto pit road. Chase Purdy on the inside of row 1. Once again, it's a controlled truck, just as he was the start. He's got his teammate to his outside of Connor Mosak. Another great push by the truck on the inside of row 2. All right, fanning out the 3 wide into the first turn as Purdy is well clear into the first turn as well for the race lead again. 91 truck of Zane Smith moving up to the outside lane to maybe try to make a move on the 77. Meanwhile, the 77 pulled down to make an aggressive block on Eckes on the inside lane off turn 2. That might have killed the momentum of Purdy. And all of a sudden, Zane Smith's all over his back bumper, though Eckes was not able to hold on to the inside of Zane Smith as he settles in 3rd and now having to block for his life to hold on to the 3rd place position on Corey Heim. A lot more tame on this restart in the top 5 at least, although they're still jockeying for position. Christian Eckes to the inside of Zane Smith for the 2nd place position. He's going to slide up right in front of Corey Heim, and Heim's going to push him down the back straightaway and make a move now for himself into turn 3 for 3rd. Meanwhile, in front of him, pass for the race lead is going to take place. Zane Smith at the bottom of the track, Purdy up near the wall on the outside. And well clear off the exit of the corner is Smith. First lead change of the day, Zane Smith out in front at Kansas. Potential crossover move incoming here by Purdy. Late move to the outside, got a bit loose, working his way into turns 1 and 2. Smith went to the middle. It's going to give momentum off the exit of the corner now to Purdy down the backstretch. Side by side again for 3rd behind them between Corey Heim and Christian Eckes. Heim pulls clear off of the top lane to the racetrack, carried more straightaway speed down the back. Cuts to the bottom to get to the inside of the 77 for 2nd. And now the 11 and the 77 are door-to-door for 2nd place at the start-finish line lap 10. 4 to 5 truck length lead out in front of him for Zane Smith. Heim is clear and the pole sitter is now back to 3rd. Eckes almost got to the inside of Purdy as well. Heim cleared by about at least 3 truck lengths off the exit of turn 2. Ben Rhodes has creeped into the top 5 on the restart, still the only Ford in the top dozen. But he is up 3 positions from the restart. Caden Honeycutt also enters the top 10 for the first time today to 9th place in the 45 truck for Nice Motorsports. 3 wide into the first turn, Nick Sanchez coming from deep in the field, started 31st in this one. And Sanchez is already up to 22nd, 9 positions gained, and that's even with the amount of caution laps we've had in the early going. With that caution back on lap 2 for Ty Majeski having a left front tire failure. Majeski continues in this race, but is currently 3 laps down. He's the only car off the lead lap, though, so if we get any cautions, we'll start getting laps back. But again, 3 laps down is Majeski. Stage splits today are 30, 30, and 74. So again, 30, 30, and 74 are the stage splits. They will not have to pit for fuel or tires during stages 1 and 2. They would pit during the stage break during stage 1 to be able to make it on field to the end of stage 2. And at some point in time, they will have to pit in the final stage, even if they end up pitting during the stage 2 break. So we may see green flag pit stops tonight. We saw that happen at Vegas in the last mile-and-a-half racetrack. A side-by-side battle for the lead. Heim got to the inside of Zane Smith through turns 1 and 2 on this lap. Through 3 and 4, they're still door-to-door. Smith didn't go all the way near the wall. He was trying to pinch the 11 down on the bottom of the track by running the middle groove. Now they side draft each other back and forth on the front stretch as they continue to battle for this race lead. Smith again does not go to the wall, tries to hang on the right rear corner panel of Heim's race truck. Heim still slides clear, though, off the exit of turn 2. Does seem like Heim's better in 1 and 2 than a lot of the trucks around him that he has passed. That's been his passing corner. As he goes from starting towards the back half of the top 5 to in the top 5. Stuart Friesen on pit road for an unscheduled pit stop.
What happened to him, Jamie?
I believe he hit the wall. They came in and just took the right side and took a good look at it before they sent him back out at him.
Was running in the 13th position here.
Yep.
Ooh, scrubbed it. You saw him get a little bit loose, and wow, is he gonna almost lost that truck. Talked about the
So right off the exit of turn 4, Stuart Friesen gets into the wall. They came down on a pit road for an unscheduled stop. Right side tires were changed on the 52. He's back out on the raceway. But he has fallen a lap down. Majeski, by the way, back on pit road after clearing the damaged vehicle policy clock, and he is now 5 laps down and counting. And so much for him getting any laps back, with Friesen now no longer on the lead lap as well. 15 laps to go still in stage 1. Side-by-side commercial break for those of you watching on Fox Sports 1. We'll go through the running order of the top 10. Again, Corey Heim is your race leader. Zane Smith is in 2nd. Chase Purdy 3rd. Christian Eck is in 4th. Ben Rhodes is 5th. Ty Dillon 6th. Caden Honeycutt 7th. Daniel Dye 8th. Connor Mosack 9th. And Taylor Gray rounds out the top 10. 1 caution for incident back on lap 2. And we have had 3 different leaders, 2 lead changes so far. First 7 laps led were by Chase Purdy. Zane Smith led for the next 3. And Corey Heim was able to lead 1 lap before the next lap was led by Smith. And then Heim has now led the most recent 4. So I guess we've had 4 lead changes with the 3 different leaders. Didn't realize that the 11 and the 91 traded the lead back and forth. Lead changes only count when the driver who led the lap before does not lead the following lap. So that's timed and scored at the start-finish line at the end of every lap. So obviously when they were side-by-side for position for about a lap and a half like they were, Zane Smith was able to lead 1 lap in the break period that Heim had battled him for the race lead for. Now down to 12 laps to go on the stage. A little bit of a slide job maneuver here from Connor Mosack as he moves on by Daniel Dye for 8th place in turns 1 and 2. Dye with the crossover, gets back underneath him on the backstretch, side drafts, pulls his truck down to the bottom, and into turns 3 and 4 again. Those two will be side by side. And now Dye's going to slam the door shut off turn 4. Mosak had to lift to keep it off the walls. He might have gotten tight in the dirty air. And here comes Taylor Gray to try to make a pass on Mosak for position as well. So Mosak, who restarted outside of the front row in second, is now back to the 10th place position, or at least battling for 9th, with Taylor Gray. And Gray has lost several spots since the restart as well. Corey Heim still your race leader in the early going.
Truck Series racing on a Saturday night. Corey Heim is the race leader. Took over a handful of laps ago, and he's led 8 circuits so far this evening. Josh?
Yeah, for Corey Heim, despite qualifying 13, so outside the top 10, he knew he had a good long run truck, and as you see, made his way through the field to the front of the pack. His only complaint right now, the truck is just a bit free, but for Corey Heim, he talked about the word redemption, which we've heard a lot from him in the past, but he told me last year, the 2 races at Kansas, those were some of the best trucks he had. Said, I had this thing just about wrapped up in the fall and wasn't able to close it out. This track owes me one, and I want to get that out here tonight.
He's sending a message to the competition early. I'm leading, and Zane Smith in second. He's led 5 laps tonight. And a good start to the race for our pole sitter, and that would be Chase Purdy's back there in the 3rd spot and led 7 laps this evening.
Right behind him is Christian Eckes, and Eckes is challenging for that 3rd spot. We talked earlier in practice, he was not happy at all, but it looks like he's got some good speed in that Napa truck.
Reigning champion Ben Rose, the 99, right now running in the 5th spot.
How bad does he need a great run? It's been a struggle this year for Ben.
1 top 10 finish so far. There you see Ben Rhodes, and I'm really keeping my eye on the guy that's behind Ben Rhodes, and that's the 45 of Caden Honeycutt. He, as a whole, only has 3 top 10 finishes all year long. One of those was by Ross Chastain, and Caden Honeycutt, in a limited schedule, has 2 of them up to the 6th spot.
This is only his 24th career start. He got that solid finish at Atlanta earlier this season. Does a great job. Shows a lot of speed every time he gets behind the wheel.
Behind him at the 25, another driver that needs a good run, that would be Ty Dillon. Hasn't been in the top 10 so far this year. I would say, though, his 3 career wins came at 1.5-mile tracks, and while they struggled in practice earlier today, they did impress in qualifying. They've got speed early in the race.
There's Daniel Dye right behind him in that 43 truck. There's Connor, good shot of him. There's Dye's race to stop suicide on board, and he's had a nice start to this race. Got up to 4th, falling back a couple of spots, but solidly inside the top 10.
Yeah, only 6 laps to go to the end of stage 1. The 18 truck of Tyler Eckham right there rounds out the top 10, trying to grab that 9th spot from Daniel Dye. Great start of the season for Tyler Ankrum. A little bit of trouble here lately, a little bad luck, but he's been had a fast truck all year long.
He's been really quiet today, both in practice and qualifying, but serving notice early. He's got something for him in the 18.
Stage points on the line as well.
No question. You said at 5 to go in the stage, and he needs all he can get. 3 top 5s this year for the driver out of California.
And probably milk more cows than anybody else in the whole field. He's a farmer up in Statesville, North Carolina. The 71 truck of Rosh has been falling back. He's outside the top 10. There's Taylor Gray taking away a spot. And there's our buddy Brett Moffitt, former truck champion. He's back with us, Jamie. That's so good to say.
Yes, it is. His first race back in any of the NASCAR race in the 2024 season. He's been at home being a full-time dad, he said, and with that, he's certainly more reflective. He appreciates these opportunities more than he did in the past, but for him, it's not about learning this truck or learning the track or any of that. It's all about learning the new crop of drivers. He said this first stage, probably half of the second stage, was just going to be seeing who he can race clean with and who's going to take just a little more effort at the end.
I'm excited he's racing tonight. We'll see him again at the end of the month at Charlotte Motor Speedway, driving that 1 truck for Tricon Garage.
Nice pass that right there to grab a spot.
He says he hopes to have more races as well, but for now it's here in Charlotte, and he's doing a nice job as we expected.
3 to go, stage 1. Heim has an advantage of 0.6 of a second over second place Zane Smith. Eckes, Purdy, Honeycutt, the top 5.
All stage points at stake right here. Connor Mosak trying to grab that 7th spot. Has it from Ty Dillon.
Started in the top 5, drifted back to 7th, 8th, 9th, and now Mozak with a nice rally late in stage 1 with 2 to go.
And you said it, Bill, that 18's got some strength too. Ankrum really powering up there. There's a battle for 5th. Honeycutt gets it away from Rhodes and is just going to drive away off turn 2.
Honeycutt, 4th start of the year, going toe-to-toe with the best. And this is a significant track for that team. Nice Motorsports winning for the first time in organization history right here at Kansas. 2019 45 truck courtesy of Ross Chastain.
And who was a crew chief on that truck? Ross Chastain.
Phil Gould.
Who was the crew chief?
Phil Gould.
Phil Gould. Common denominator.
Let me give you another little tidbit about that truck. Carson Hocebar drove it here last year. How'd he do?
He did pretty well.
Yeah.
He's lurking in the booth. He will join us stage 2 tonight.
Okay, so he is going to be in the booth.
About that, he's got his notebook.
I thought it was going to be the whole race.
Talking, figuring all this out. It's been good to have him up here.
Corey Hine takes over middle of the stage, and he's going to win the first stint of the race. It's his second stage win of the year. He's led 18 laps so far tonight. Second place, Zane Smith. Eckes is 3rd. Purdy and Honeycutt complete the top 5. Rhodes, Mozak, Ankrum, Dillon, and Dye collecting stage points as well. We're off and rolling at Kansas Speedway. So far, it's all about Hine.
It's Hime time. Corey Hime wins stage 1 here at the Kansas Speedway. Zane Smith ends up 2nd in the stage. Christian Eckes 3rd. Chase Purdy 4th. And Caden Honeycutt in 5th. Good run for him so far. Ben Rhodes in 6th. 7th for Connor Mosack. Tyler Ankrum 8th. Ty Dillon 9th. And Daniel Dye rounds out the top 10. Again, stage points awarded to the top 10. 1 point per position based off your finish in the first 2 stages. Stage 2 will also be 30 laps, so we'll be racing to the end of lap 60 there, and then again 74 laps in the final stage of the race, making up the full 134 lap race distance. Be sure to hit the like button on the stream if you guys have not done so yet. Be sure to hit the subscribe button as well if you are new to the channel and are wondering what this is. It is a live commentary stream. I do commentary streams every NASCAR weekend for NASCAR Truck Xfinity Cup races, as well as Cup practice and qualifying. So this is our second stream of the day. We had Cup practice and qualifying just a couple hours ago. And now here we are for the second stream of the night. And glad to see all of you back. And hope to see you again tomorrow as well. We'll take our first ad break of this one. You're listening live on KRC to the Heart of America 200 for the Craftsman Truck Series. Check out that voting poll to see who you guys have voted for so far. 80 votes. 38% of you say somebody other than Raja Caruth, Christian Eckes, or Ty Majeski will win. Majeski was the reason for that first caution of the race today. You can switch your vote if you do choose. I'm pretty sure you can switch your vote on here. Guess you'll have to let me know if it doesn't switch if you try to click on a different poll or poll voting option. But 23% said Majeski, another 23% for Eckes, 15% saying Caruth, and other at 38%. Right now, other is leading the way with Corey Hime out in front. Delbert Wilson says 6 more yellows. We'll see. Ice Demon King 92 Hammer, thanks for tuning in as well. Ever live stream basketball games? Nah, just NASCAR on this channel. NASCAR oriented. Robert Goodrich, also welcome into the stream. Thomas Roth, he's pulling for Eckes. He's in 3rd. There's a chance of it. Owen Allen, thanks for tuning in. Cam Waters' position. He is, check that for you, 25th. Driving the 66 truck here this evening. So Zane Smith was the only driver not running for truck points that got stage points there in stage 1. I think he's actually the only driver in the field at all tonight that's not driving for any sort of points in the truck series. Of course, Smith, a full-time regular now in Cup. Rookie at Spire Motorsports in the 71 car. Pit road will be open this time. Our first stops of the day are underway.
Garage, first truck, 1 lap down, Mason Maggio. He gets the free pass. Everybody on pit road. Jamie Howe.
For Caden Honeycutt, we saw him able to move up those 16 positions, but he told Phil Gould that the last 5 or 6 laps he was getting pulled up towards the wall. Felt like he was wearing that right rear just a little bit more than anywhere else. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment, give him a clean windshield, Josh.
For the 91 of Zane Smith, he said he started to get free towards the end of that run, especially in the nose. They're going to tighten him up, moving on to the 19 of Christian Eckes. He said that truck, who had run a different setup this time around, trending a little too tight, making an air pressure adjustment for the 19. And the 11 of Corey Heim, your stage 1 winner, said, this is the freest I've ever been on a mile and a half. I'm going to need you guys to tighten me up as well.
Bit of a delay on the 11 opens the door for Christian Eckes to win the race off of pit road. +2 for him, +3 for Honeycutt, who comes off second. Zane lost a spot, -3 for Heim. Sanchez, +8, was 5th off pit road. What a start to this race for him, and someone going to get a penalty. A tire escaped. About halfway down pit road.
See if we can identify which truck it comes off of. Is it an at Crafton? Or is it 66?
Maybe the 25, which was 66, was right in that area as well.
Cam Waters lost a tire. And then Lawless Allen has some issues. He can't get his truck rolling on pit road now. Teams running, chasing him. A lot going on in that stop.
When we come back, stage 2, and a special guest in the booth. Carson Hocevar is...
Well, there you have it. Carson Hocevar in the FS1 booth for stage 2. I knew he was going to be there tonight. I thought it was going to be the whole race. By the way, Mike Joy had broke that news over the practice session from earlier. But apparently it's just for stage 2 tonight. Corey Heim was your stage 1 winner. Did not come out of the pits, though, with the race lead. Lost 3 positions. He'll be restarting in 4th. And Christian Eckes will now be the new race leader. Caden Honeycutt trying to mix things up. Front of the field, he'll restart on the front row, it appears, as well. And Zane Smith, Corey Heim in row 2. So these are the first laps Eckes has led today, again under the yellow. And Eckes came in as the points leader, and he does have 2 wins this season as well. The only truck regular to have more than 1 win. The only other driver to have more than 1 win in the Truck Series this season is a non-truck regular, Kyle Busch, who has 2 wins for himself this year as well. I believe Busch still has 1 more truck race to run yet this season also. Forget at the end of stage 2, we will have our die cast showing. Got a, I guess he's technically still an active truck driver, although he's only on a part-time basis now. And he's not in tonight's race, but that will be the die cast. Giving away some hints there with that one. Maybe you guys in the chat can guess who that may be. Who won the ARCA race earlier? Somebody said Connor Mosack. That could be it. I really don't know. I didn't watch it. I actually worked an overtime shift at my work today. I don't catch all the ARCA races, but I got home probably an hour or so. A little less than an hour before the stream. Dark Shadows 5622, thanks for tuning in. By the way, I don't know if you guys heard that or not over the mic, but we got a big thunderstorm coming my way. Some loud crack-a-lacking going on there. I think it's just starting to rain too. Johnny Saucer? Yes, it is. Saucer. It is Johnny Sauter. It is a Johnny Sauter diecast. Believe it or not. Yeah, definitely looking out for Caden Honeycutt as well. Impressive run so far. 5th at the end of stage 1. Gained 3 positions on pit road. Now he's in 2nd. Most spots gained on pit road that time was from Nick Sanchez. 4-tire stop. That team was able to gain 8 positions. Moving his way up to 7th. So now we've got a four-man booth. Adam Alexander, Phil Parsons, Michael Waltrip, and Carson Hocevar. The new addition. Yeah, he's joined in stage 2. I almost wonder if that's just because of the quick overturn from qualifying wrapping up an hour before the start of the race tonight. All of a break time we had, about exactly an hour. So maybe he'll be in the booth the rest of the race. I have no clue. I'm not able to listen to any of the actual broadcast at the moment. The only time I'm able to listen to it is when you guys are also. Had a selfie with him last year, says Wade in the chat. That's pretty cool. Michigan. Yep, he is a Michigan native. Portage, Michigan, I believe is his hometown. Caden started 21st. Yeah, it's a quick ascension forward. Now he's up to second after the fast pit stop. See what he can do. Look at what fast pit stops are in the truck series, though. 17-1s, 18-1s, 18-4, 17-3. Go into the Cup Series with the single lug, and we got pit stops under 9 seconds. I think some under 8 from time to time. A 10, 11 second difference in pit stops. Oh boy, contact on the restart as they were getting up through the gears. A little bit of wheel spin, it looked like, by Caden Honeycutt in the outside of row 1. Eckes is clear with the race lead into the first turn. Side by side for second now between Smith and Honeycutt. 3 wide up the middle going Nick Sanchez as he darts by the 11 of Corey Heim. Didn't quite clear Heim. Heim's still there. 7 truck of Connor Mosack also in the picture. He's on the inside of the 2. And Eckes leads his first green flag lap of the day. Almost contact between the 2 and the 7 off the exit of turn 4. Ty Dillon with a head of steam to the outside of both of them after Corey Heim pulled clear on the front stretch. Sanchez gets a bit loose as he overdrives the corner just a little bit. Had to catch it in the center by lifting. And as a result of that, he's going to get passed by the truck on the outside. Ty Dillon, Chase Purdy rolling now to the outside of the 2. And Mosack still underneath Sanchez. Mosack and Sanchez have been side by side for every lap off the restart, but they've both been passed by 3 trucks above them both. Until finally Sanchez wins that battle for position. Ultimately ended up losing a couple positions as a net loss on the restart. So Heim got the 3rd. He was the winner at the end of stage 1. Zane Smith got to the lead on the initial start, well, technically the restart after the lap 2 caution. And he was able to lead up until Heim took the race lead away in the second half of stage 1. So now that we fast forward into stage 2, on the restart again, it's Zane Smith out in front after Eckes led the first couple laps on the restart. Heim is in 3rd, and we'll see if Corey Heim's got that long run speed to be able to catch up to both the 2 trucks in front of him. Eckes went back to the inside through turns 1 and 2, almost got to the door of Zane Smith, but not quite. Smith going to cover the bottom of the racetrack now through 3 and 4. That's going to give Corey Heim the outside and clean air through 3 and 4 for the 3rd place driver. Ty Dillon, Connor Mosack battling for position after Mosack finally was able to fend off, or Sanchez, I should say, was able to fend off Mosack. Ty Dillon has now gone to work on Connor. And I believe Brett Moffitt in the 1 truck also going to move on by. Good run so far for Brett Moffitt as well. He started deep in the field, much like Honeycutt. Didn't move as quickly through the field, but he has made his way up inside the top 10 as Moffitt runs in the 8th place position. Battle just outside the top 10 for 14th between Taylor Gray and Tyler Ankrum, a couple of drivers that have moved backwards since the start of the race. And now Moffitt to the inside of Dillon, couple of former truck champions. I will say there's probably more former truck champions in the field tonight than what I could remember in the truck series history. You got Moffitt, Dillon, Ben Rhodes, Matt Crafton. I'm sure I'm probably missing one or two. Zane Smith. That might be it. Still, that's 5 former champions. Don't usually see that in lower series truck and Xfinity anymore. Have to let me know if I missed any in the chat. I don't think I did, though. At least that are in the field tonight. A few of them that have been close, including Christian Eckes, who has not gone too far away from where Zane Smith is at. Tight battle between Sanchez and Moffitt. Sanchez very aggressive with the defense as he was pinching Brett Moffitt on the inside. Not room to make the corner. Moffitt got a little sideways, had to lift to keep it off the two of Sanchez before collecting both of them in an incident. And it'll take a tie Dillon again. Dillon fading on this long green flag run. Dillon qualified third. I believe was in the top 10 in practice as well earlier today. It went on before the ARCA race. And the ARCA race went on before Cup practice and qualifying. A little bit of ground lost for Eckes through turns 1 and 2 that last time. Corey Heim gains just a little bit on the 19 in front of him. All the top 3 within a half a second of the race lead as Zane Smith is still out logging laps led. Currently, Zane Smith is the leader. 0.6 of a second of fall off at this point in this green flag run compared to the fastest laps of the race, which have pretty much been all ran by the top portion of the field off this restart to begin stage 2. So the track is getting quicker as the sun continues to go down. Not complete darkness yet in Kansas City, Kansas, but getting close. And that is why we've seen quite a few drivers run their fastest lap of the race. The only ones that I see in the entire field that did not run their fastest laps of the race on this stage 2 restart was Grant Enfinger, Daniel Dye, Taylor Gray, and Ben Rhodes. Everybody else in the field has ran their fastest laps in stage 2. And of course, of those drivers I just named, only one of them is in the top 10, which would be Rhodes in 9th, and he's fallen backwards because he was in the top 5 at one point earlier. Not the case for the moment. We'll see if they can start trending in the right direction. Going to have to make some adjustments, though. Definitely better in the late dusk/daylight hours than what he is here in the night. So 0.6 of a second lead for Zane Smith out in front of Corey Heim, who is now up to second, making the pass on Christian Eckes during the commercial break. Eckes is 0.8 of a second off the lead in third. Caden Honeycutt in fourth, 2.8 seconds back in the leaders. And Chase Purdy's in fifth, 4.1 seconds off the lead. That is your top 5. Average race speed of 115.12 miles per hour to this point, just over 35 minutes since the drop of the green flag. Didn't mention also at the end of stage 1, but you heard it on the Fox booth. Adam Alexander mentioned that Mason Maggio got the free pass during the stage 1 break. The only caution for incident was on lap 2 of Majeski, so nobody was a lap down at that point. Currently 28 trucks are on the lead lap. Maggio is about to go a lap down again here in the next couple. Take another ad break. You're listening live on KRC to the Heart of America 200 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series at Kansas Speedway. Up to 60 likes on the stream as well. We're only 40 away from our goal. Again, a reminder, be sure to hit that like button if you guys have not done so yet. I believe we have over 100 votes in the poll, but we do not have 100 likes on the stream yet. No, not quite 100 votes on the poll. We're getting close. We got 97.
Zane Smith, a series champion, coming back to where it all began, and he's out front.
He said it's good to be back.
Yeah, athletic some laps tonight.
Yeah, and he also said he had a really good truck after practice, was confident in what his number 91 could do here tonight. He's got a nice lead here over Corey Heim.
Heim up to second after winning stage 1. Lost a few spots on pit lane, but he's coming back. Eckes third, Honeycutt fourth. Chase Purdy hanging in the top 5. Moffitt did get by Sanchez.
He's trying to chase down the 77 of Chase Purdy. Chase has done a nice job here from the pole, staying up here in contention.
Moffitt was about a 10th and a half second better last time around, so Moffitt's on the charge.
The back end of that one just likes to dance a little bit. Do you get uncomfortable watching that up here? I get nervous at times in the booth watching cars.
No, I don't, honestly. I don't know if that's good or bad. Those Tricon trucks always seem to have a lot of speed, so maybe that was something they figured out, and I hadn't 100% caught on to that. But, for him, it's got to be like riding a bike here, Adam, right? He's got to be smiling ear to ear more than anybody in this field right now.
What about it, Jamie?
You're talking about Brett Moffitt. The team just said, when you have a chance, give us just a little bit of a balance update. He very quickly responded. He said, we fired off just a little bit free, but overall, this truck is pretty darn good. He said, it's starting to get a little bit neutral, but I'm pretty happy.
Brett Moffitt is one of those drivers that's not afraid to run right up that last foot next to the outside wall. Always been comfortable doing that.
I'm laughing up here because he hasn't had to experience this in a few weeks, right? Anything that he's out there, he's going to say is probably pretty good, right? He's just thankful to be out here, but obviously he's had a lot of speed past a lot of cars. The driver in me just knows I'm not going to be picky now of these trucks, and just excited to see what he can do when he gets an adjustment here and can get to stage 3.
A little bit worried about Raja early, but he seems to be rebounding here. He's making his way back inside the top 10. We're getting ready to have a battle for the lead. I think you'll see as he works that wheel off turn.
Corey Heim trying to get the stage sweep intact. He has lost a little bit of ground to Zane Smith over the last couple laps. Smith a couple hundredths quicker than Heim that most recent lap that they ran. We're coming up on just 3 laps to go in the stage. Top lane, definitely the quickest lane, and with everybody running there, you get longer into the green flag run. It becomes harder and harder to make that pass, especially on the driver with the cleanest air, which would be the race leader, as there isn't super heavy lap traffic in front of Smith. Did catch a lapper at the end of the front stretch this last time by. Not sure exactly who that is. By the way, as far as notable drivers who are struggling tonight, Grant Enfinger's 25th. Tail end of the lead lap. He has not had great speed, and then Stuart Friesen, who had to make the unscheduled pit stop back at stage 1, fell a couple laps down. He's been 2 laps down ever since. Ty Majeski pulled into the garage area late in the first stage, still under green flag conditions. His day is done. He's the only driver that is DNF'd. Again, he's the only driver to bring out a caution for incident. So we have a lap and a half to go now in stage 2. And Heim has lost over a half a second to Zane Smith in the last couple laps. So there's not going to be a battle for the stage 2 victory either. Only instead of Corey Heim, who won stage 1, it'll be the Cup regular in the field tonight, Zane Smith, who should be going on his way to win stage 2. By the way, with Corey Heim winning stage 1 earlier, I do believe that is the second stage win of the year for Corey Heim. Looking back just to fact check that, and it is. It's the second stage win of the year for Heim. This will be the first for Zane Smith in the few truck starts he has had so far this season. So there it is. Stage 2 of the books. Zane Smith wins it. Corey Heim second, getting 19 stage points today. Christian Eckes was third in the stage. Caden Honeycutt fourth. 1 spot better than what he did in stage 1. Chase Purdy, the pole sitter, still in the top 5 and 5th. Brett Moffitt up to 6th and is on the move. Nick Sanchez 7th. Roger Carruth back into the top 10 to 8th. Connor Mosack 9th, and Ben Rhodes falls to 10th. So that will round out the top 10 in the running order. Again, and all those drivers in the top 10 receiving stage points, except for Zane Smith, of course, who's the Cup regular in the field tonight. The only Ford inside the top 15 at the end of the first stage, and the second stage for that matter, Ben Rhodes. The only Ford to get any sort of stage points. Majeski, who had the best speed in practice and qualifying, obviously wrecked out of the Fords to begin this race here tonight. We're at the end of stage 2, so we got 2 things coming your way. 1, we're going to end the poll that's open in the chat. Looks like 102, 105, waiting for it to refresh. 105 votes were casted. 41% of you say somebody other than Eckes, Majeski, or Carruth will win this race. And so far, the stage winners are somebody other than those three. Heim, who won stage 1, and Zane Smith, the winner of stage 2. So as of right now, you guys look like you could be in position to get it right. Christian Eckes in third is the highest finishing of those drivers you could have voted for in the poll at the end of stage 2. 3 champions in the top 10, Zane Smith, Brett Moffitt, Ben Rhodes. Yep. 4 champions. Should be 5. Should be 5 champions. Now, I wasn't talking about Ty Majeski, Ty Dillon. If you might have been thinking about the wrong Ty. But yeah, there would be 5. With Moffitt in there today as well. And on a regular basis, of course. Up to 72 likes. Again, our goal is 100. We have well more than that many people watching, so again, be sure to hit that like button. The only other thing we have to do is the diecast showing at the end of stage 2. Get my camera on. Somebody guessed it earlier, asking if it was a Johnny Sauter diecast, and I said yes it is. So we'll get the Johnny Sauter diecast going. It's a little bit dark in here, so I don't know if you guys are going to see it very well, but this diecast is autographed on the roof. Or not the roof, on the windshield. But it's in black, and it's kind of got like black roll bars on the inside, so that you can kind of see it is signed by Johnny Sauter, but I don't know if you guys can see it very well or not. But it's his number 30 AOL car from 2004, I do believe. 2004. I've always liked the AOL schemes. Those of you that are returning viewers of the channel, kind of preached so many times at this point that I love blue and yellow schemes. Colors of my Michigan Wolverines. Probably the main reason why I like it, but I feel like they always pop really well in a race car, and this was always one of my favorites going up as a result of that. So, and Johnny Sauter AOL 2004 diecast, and this does have the autograph. I did not get it autographed personally from him. That's just how I bought it. Got pit stops here during the stage 2 break.
In that number 1 truck, you see him right there on the left-hand side of your screen, and he said that the last 5 laps of that, he really started just to get a little bit free, but before that, the truck was pretty good, so they're going to just go down on the air pressure. In front of him on pit lane is that number 45 of Caden Honeycutt. We talked about how impressive he's been all night. He said that second stage was the complete opposite of the first stage. He said he fired off tight. The longer it went, the truck really came to him. Josh.
Well, for the 91 of Zane Smith, your stage 2 winner, said the truck was just a little bit numb. Said the adjustments after stage 1 were in the right direction. They're going to have more of that on this next adjustment. And for the 11 of Corey Heim, that last run said just too free. That needs to be tightened up more than he was.
19 crew getting it done. +2, he wins the race. Off pit road does Christian Eckes. Heim comes out second, holding serve there. Honeycutt +1. And then look down there in 8th. Zane Smith came in with the race lead. Leaves pit road 8th, -7.
Ouch.
For the man that won here in 2022.
Ouch.
Final stage coming your way next on FS1.
All right, so for the second consecutive swing of pit stops here, the guy who won the stage or came in as the race leader comes out as not the race leader. Corey Heim fell to 4th. He only got back up to 2nd. Zane Smith goes from 1st to 7th now. We'll see how he'll try to carry himself on this next restart, which could be the last one of the day. You never know. We've seen on 1.5 mile tracks, in particular with the Truck Series, they seem to be the cleaner of the races. And we don't see many cautions, and so far tonight we have only had 1 for incident, 3 total with the 2 stage ends. And this is our last guaranteed yellows. But it's not our final pit stop. We know that everybody will have to pit one more time for fuel purposes before the end. Second consecutive pit stop, though, that'll be Christian Eckes in the 19 coming out with the lead. So we'll have to see what he is going to be able to do with that from here. Him and Corey Heim look to be on the front row for the upcoming restart. 116.080 mile per hour average race speed. About 50 minutes after the drop of the green flag into this race. Mason Maggio gets the free pass once again. the end of stage 1 and the end of stage 2. Samaggio back on the lead lap. 4 different drivers have led today. Zane Smith has led the most. 29 laps led. Stage 2 winner, Stage 1 winner Corey Heim has led 21 laps. Chase Purdy led the first 7 from the pole. And Christian Eckes on that restart, as well as currently after winning the race off pit road, has led 2 times for 7 laps now. With those 4 different drivers to lead at least 1 lap in the race today, we have had 8 lead changes. And we still may not have seen the last. I'd definitely like to think that we have not seen the last of the lead changes here in this one. So again, got to get to our goal of 100 likes on the stream, and right now we're at 74, so be sure to hit the like button if you guys have not done so yet. Still got some thunder going on back there. I think I did hear it raining. Either that or the wind's picked up, or both. Could very well be both. It's hard to tell if it's smacking the screen on the end of my window or if it's the wind that's just blowing it. Up to 75 likes now. There we go. Yeah, hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Try to get to that goal of 100 here before the end of the stream, and we go 2 for 2 to start the weekend on hitting the like counter goal. Be cool if we can get to 5,100 subscribers on the channel here for the end of the weekend. I don't know what we were coming into today's stream. I think we were about 30 away, and we cut that in about half after the qualifying and practice stream. So, coming into this stream here tonight, we were about 15 subscribers away yet from 5,100. They're back from the commercial break right now. Showing a replay of, oh boy, the Lawless Allen in the 33. Sliding through his pit box, taking out a crew member. Going to try to make sure that was Lawless Allen. It was, yeah, Lawless Allen in the 33. Hopefully that crew member is okay. Had his legs swept out from underneath him. They're into the choose rule situation here, so 1 lap to go signal has been given to the drivers. And once we get to this restart, we'll be halfway home. 67 down, 67 to go. Again, Eckes and Heim on the front row. And we'll see what Zane Smith can do on this restart from in the back half of the top 10. Lost 7 positions on pit road after winning stage 2. We'll see if the former champion can get up in contention to try to win the race. Showing a replay of him coming into his pit box. We'll see if it was... Oh, maybe not. Replay was frozen. Didn't get the full glimpse of the replay. We are getting a full glimpse of the sun going down, though. Over the horizon. Track mostly dark. But the temps, I'm sure, will still cool as the track gets faster as we get deeper into the night. Green flag is back in the air. Christian Eckes gets a great push. Big blocking going on. Onto the apron, in fact. Taylor Gray's gone to the apron several times on the restart. He does it again there, trying to pick up some positions. Brett Moffitt 3 wide inside. Almost squeezes a couple trucks into the wall. We've got some trucks going down to the apron on the back straightaway even as they try to evade Moffitt, who had to lift after almost causing an incident off turn 2. Off it goes from about 5th back to about 7th, it looks like, at least on the restart. Nick Sanchez powered his way to 2nd, and he gets his way to the inside of Eckes for the lead all of a sudden. Where did Nick Sanchez come from and all that? I was watching the near Moffitt incident a lap ago, and all of a sudden Sanchez leads. Battle for seconds between Eckes and Heim. It's the first lap led of the day for the 2 truck of Nick Sanchez. He gets hit from behind after making a late block into turn 3. Heim gets by Eckes. That hurt Eckes more than it hurt Sanchez. Sanchez blocking again. Heim underneath him. Got one block, didn't have a chance at a second, and Corey Heim gets to the front of the field, and Caden Honeycutt's going for second. Honeycutt slides clear. Sanchez falls from first to third in the lap. Now Sanchez to the inside lane into turns 3 and 4. Honeycutt's going to pinch him off in the center of the corner. Caden holds on to second. Sanchez slides up the hill. May have made contact with the 19 of Eckes. It hangs both trucks up there, and that's allowing Zane Smith to slice and dice his way through these trucks that are getting out of shape. Moffitt trying to regroup as well as he gets back underneath the 2 again. Sanchez, I don't think, led a lap in that transition. No, he did. Yeah, he did lead 1 lap, so officially Sanchez did lead. But it was just the 1 before Corey Heim was able to take the race lead away on the following lap. And after Sanchez led that 1 lap, now he's about to fall back to 6 once Moffitt gets around him for 5th. Moffitt's been underneath him for a couple corners now, has not been able to clear. Christian Eckes trying to get by Caden Honeycutt for second. He doesn't want Corey Heim pulling too far away. That failed pass attempt, or at least to get to the inside of the truck in front of him there for Eckes, is going to open the door up for Zane Smith, who slides clear, and Zane Smith's up to 3rd. Eckes not going to try the crossover move. He's going to stay in line behind Smith. And Zane Smith, despite restarting in 8th place inside of row 5, row 4 or row 5, I believe it was row 5, on the inside lane in the restart for Zane Smith. And he's already driven his way to 3rd in the first 5 laps since the restart. So 5 positions gained in 5 laps. Off the top of my head, I really don't know where Sanchez restarted for him to get to the lead. Great job getting there. Terrible job trying to maintain track position. Blocks he was throwing and then getting ran into from behind as a result of the blocks was definitely costing him a lot of time. Showing Tanner Gray on screen. I think something happened. No, nothing happened. Well, something almost happened to him. He got really loose into turn 3. I thought he was going to end up slapping the wall. It's a close call. Tanner's having a good run, though. 6th place for the former dragster. And Eckes is battling back on Zane Smith. Smith pulled himself into 3rd a couple laps ago, but for one reason or another, loses that spot to Eckes through 1 and 2. Smith's going to have to try the crossover through 3 and 4. I think he's got it. He timed it out well. We're going to have a double crossover now. Can Eckes get back underneath him? No, Eckes got loose off turn 4. Saw the right rear corner panel yaw it out quite a bit. Almost clipped the wall. Now in turns 1 and 2, he goes back to the bottom. Almost pulled very close to clearing Zane Smith the second time, but did not. And Zane holds on to 3rd once again. We'll go through the full field running order with 59 laps to go in the race. Again, Corey Heim is your race leader. Caden Honeycutt is 2nd. Zane Smith 3rd. Christian Eckes 4th. And Brett Moffitt in 5th. Tanner Gray is 6th. Bailey Curry 7th. Nick Sanchez 8th. Taylor Gray 9th. Make that Nick Sanchez a 9th now. Taylor Gray's up to 8th. And Matt Crafton rounds out the top 10. Chase Purdy's fallen back to 11th. Daniel Dye 12th, Ben Rhodes 13th, 14th for Connor Mosack, Jake Garcia 15th, Dean Thompson 16th, Raja Cruz 17th, Ty Dillon 18th, Brett Holmes 19th, and 20th is Grant Enfinger. Matt Mills in 21st, Lane Riggs 22nd, 23rd for Tyler Ankrum, Cam Waters 24th, Mason Massey In 25th, 26th is Timmy Hill. Tab him off at 27th. Mason Maggio is the last truck in the lead lap at 28th. Stuart Friesen 29th. Lawless Allen 30th. 31st for Spencer Boyd. Jennifer Joe Cobb 32nd. Ty Majeski 33rd. Majeski the only driver out of the race still to this point, as we have 28 trucks on the lead lap. Again, 57 laps to go in the Heart of America 200 at the Kansas Speedway. Listening live on KRC to this NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race. Where are the Fords? They are nowhere to be found. Story of this season. Rhodes was the highest running Ford for a large portion of this race. He was the only one to get any stage points. He got some in stage 1 and stage 2. It was actually as high as 5th in the running order at one point early in stage 1. And now Matt Crafton's the highest running Ford in 10th. And that's kind of the story of Crafton the last several seasons, is that he tends to run much better later in the race, doesn't qualify well, starts deep in the field, it feels like almost every week. Then he kind of gets himself a finish in the top 10. Whether it's a war of attrition and he makes it through, or a race like this where you get a lot of long green flag runs, chance to make some adjustments, and the veteran Crafton gets the truck to his liking, but by that point the race is just so short in the truck series that he's really only able to get himself up in the running order so far. Doesn't get a lot of stage points, and that's why he's been on the bubble for the playoff cut line, it seems like, each of the last several seasons.
I'm Adam Alexander, and we have a battle for the lead. Corey Heim out front, but Caden Honeycutt not going away, knocking on the door.
He's really making it happen. Had his truck all the way up beside Corey Heim as Corey goes by Jennifer Joe Cobb in the lap truck there. We could be saying a name here tonight we're going to hear a lot from in the truck series. When you make a statement like Caden Honeycutt has done tonight, go up there and battle with Corey Heim for the lead in that 45 truck. This is a huge night for that kid.
I think what we've seen so far is a career-defining moment for Caden Honeycutt. Hopefully he can finish it off as we continue to watch this battle for third between the 91 of Zane Smith and the 19 of Christian Eckes.
These two need to make up their mind. One of them needs to take over that position, Carson.
I tell you what they're doing. They're letting the top two get away here, though. Honeycutt, he's done such a great job. We obviously know how fast and how good Heim has been everywhere he goes, right? But Caden to be able to do this on a part-time schedule, still learning this organization and learning Phil Gould, to be able to do this just in a few starts he has is really impressive.
You know Phil Gould really well, and I know he's got a smile on his face watching his young racer get it done here in Kansas.
Yeah, obviously they ran really well with myself last year. They were really excited, but this year, they haven't 100% gone off to the start they really wanted to as an organization. But Kansas for me last year was always just the defining moment of what really could set myself up and really reset our season. I think Nice's organization is doing that with Caden running second, but also Bailey Curry running seventh here.
Last Saturday, Honeycutt made his second start in an Xfinity car, driving for Mario Goslin, and spent a lot of time in the top 20. So as we've said, the talent is there, and right of your screen, the man calling the shots. We've talked about him so much this evening, Phil Gould.
Caden Honeycutt, 20 years old, out of Willow Park, Texas, and he's thinking, I'm going to win here in Kansas. He's faster than Heim right now. You can see him make those moves. And, learning right now, Carson, that's really difficult. It's one thing to be able to catch the guy, but then what do you do to get around him?
Yeah, I don't think he's in a big hurry, right? I think as long as he keeps in touch with Corey, that's the win right now. You have pit stops coming up. As least as you can keep in tow, you can keep the race afloat for you and not let him get away and keep in that draft and give yourself a real good shot here later in the race.
Bailey Curry doing an awesome job tonight in the 41, although he lost a spot to Taylor Gray. 17's been top 10 every week since they crashed out on that final lap at Daytona.
Now Taylor's going after his brother Tanner in the 15 truck, trying to grab another spot.
What's it with Al Nice? Bailey Curry's from Texas, too. He likes those Texas kids, doesn't he?
He does.
How did he end up with a Michigan driver?
I was going to say, it doesn't really, I don't fall under that category, Michael, but I'm definitely glad he, obviously Al's done a lot for me and a lot for my career, but definitely willing to do a lot for other race car drivers' careers, and I think he's doing just that with Caden. I know he's going to have a bright future here.
What about the Gray brothers? That's cool. I think they were 8th and 9th at Texas, or right together in the top 10.
Yeah, 7th and 8th, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, here they are again. I guarantee you one thing. Caden Honeycutt's got Corey Haim's attention. He sees that number 45 white Chevy in his mirror and those moves he's able to make from time to time. He's going to have a big draft here.
And I love the fact that he's not pushing the issue. As Carson was talking about, he's just comfortable riding back there within right now 0.3 of a second of Corey Haim. Knowing we have another pit stop and a lot of things can change.
We're going to see you again in the booth at Charlotte, Carson. Watching tonight, does it motivate you to go back and run some truck races?
It does. I'm obviously happy where I'm at doing the cup level right now and focusing on that. But I definitely would love to get back here. But in the meantime, I'm loving it, enjoying this. I'm thankful you guys get to bring me in the booth and get to see a different perspective. But I've had a lot of fun up here tonight.
Real quick. When you come to pit road here under green flag, how challenging is that entry, getting down to pit road speed and make sure you maximize, and how will that affect Caden Honeycutt with the lack of experience that he has?
There's so many different factors, Michael. The biggest thing is that splitter. There's very much, it's way around the corner. So your splitter's on the ground, and when you try to make that transition, it's super sharp onto pit road. It's not it's not easy transition. So it's super easy to almost lock the left front on entry, but more so when you pit the truck, sometimes the nose doesn't set back down, so the exit is so far around. If you don't get your nose in the air or nose on the ground, there's a lot of lift that really could cost you on exit. That's a lot of time where you make your money or lose your money is on exit of pit road.
We're talking about these green flag pit stops. They'll be happening soon. As we anticipate that, we say thank you to Carson for coming by. We'll see you in Charlotte, and good luck in the Cup car tomorrow, okay?
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. Right. I had a blast.
Carson Hocevar joining us in the booth tonight. We've got more from Kansas after you watch this on FS1.
All right, got to hear a little bit of Carson Hocevar and his commentating here during the course of this race. Mainly just not so much commentating, but well, I mean, he was commentating here from time to time. Obviously, they were kind of asking him questions along the way, which I guess is kind of the job of Adam Alexander in the first place. But he was getting some questions from Michael Waltrip and Phil Parsons as well, just because he had been the most recent of those drivers in the booth or former drivers in Mikey and Phil's case to run a truck. Corey Haim is again currently the race leader, and Caden Honeycutt's still right there in second place, 0.6 of a second back that last time at the line. Zane Smith is a 1.5 back in third. Krishnak is 2.9 seconds off the lead in fourth. Brett Moffitt 4.7 seconds back in fifth. Tanner Gray in sixth is 8 seconds off the lead. Taylor Gray is 9.5 seconds back in seventh. Nick Sanchez in eighth, 10.1 seconds off the lead. Bailey Curry 9th, 10.3 seconds back. And 11.8 seconds off the lead is Matt Crafton in 10th. That is your top 10 in the running order. And as of right now, those are the intervals in between them as well. So pretty big gap back to sixth. But the top five still within about 5 seconds of each other. And we are currently about 25 laps into this green flag run. It's the longest green flag run of the race, considering we had that caution at lap 2 early on. I believe we had a restart with 23 to go in stage 1. And the stage cautions from stage 1 and stage 2 kind of bled into some of that. So now here we are 26 laps and counting into this green flag run. Maybe we'll see more tire fall off as of right now over the course of a 26-lap green flag run. Make that 27 now for Corey Haim, the race leader. He has fallen off about 1.3 seconds from his fastest lap at lap 40 to the last lap he just ran at lap 94. Caden Honeycutt is starting to lose time here lap over lap. He's losing about a tenth or two a lap to Haim. Still holding himself a little over a second ahead of Zane Smith. In fact, that last lap, Honeycutt was still faster than the 91 of Smith behind him. And we've got green flag pit stops. Haim pitting from the lead.
Corey Haim. Corey Haim had a second lead over Caden Honeycutt. I'm going to be really interested, Josh, to see how these pit stops play out for the finish of this race.
Zane Smith in as well. Let's go to Josh.
For the 91 of Zane Smith, he's been complaining about being too loose in that truck since it's just too much on top of the track right now. As far as the 11 of Corey Heim, it's been a free truck all night long. They've continued to work at it to get him what he needs, but he's been dominating this race so far. Jamie?
And coming to the stop now is Caden Honeycutt, and he said to Phil, he said, tell me where my marks are. And Phil Gould very calmly said, I will count you to the box. He hit the marks perfect. It's going to be 4 tires. Sitting in the tail right behind him, Brett Moffitt, and that number 1 truck also coming into pit lane, and green flag pit stop. First time of the year for him, Josh.
Well, for the 19 of Christian Eckes, he said that truck has just been building too tight. It's been an issue for him all night long. He said he worked those fronts too hard, trying to stay up with Zane, so they're going to try and help him out for this final run.
Looked like a bit of a hiccup for the 45 of Caden Honeycutt. We'll see how it all settles out as everything cycles through scheduled green flag pit stops at Kansas.
And just remember, this is a money stop. You can't have a penalty here. You can't speed as a driver. You've got to make sure you do your job in and out of pit road. Caden looked like he did a nice job on the pit road, but the team had an issue changing the tires.
But look at top left of your screen. That's the 11 of Corey Heim after his pit stop. And there's a 45 coming off of pit road on the inside of that 4-wide situation there.
Daniel Dye has not made a pit stop. He has taken over the race lead. Tyler Ankrum, Connor Mozak, Mason Massey.
So the top 5 in the running order all still have to hit pit road. Corey Heim at 6 is the highest running of those that have pitted, and he just unlapped himself on the current race leader, Daniel Dye. First laps Dye has led today. He has been running top 10 for most of this race, though, and he came into this one just one spot out of the playoffs for the Truck Series by way of how the season has gone so far for him. So definitely some improvement there from year 1 in the Truck Series last season to this season in year 2. Caden Honeycutt battling side by side with Christian Eckes. Honeycutt lost some time on pit road, so this battle would be for the eventual 3rd place position. Eckes door swiping 45 middle of the back straightaway, and not sure if that was because of contact a little earlier or not, but whatever the case was, a very aggressive maneuver from Christian Eckes. He played a little bit of defense on Honeycutt in front of him. So now the gap between Heim and Zane Smith. Smith would be 2nd place once the rest of the leaders pit. And Mason Massey, Timmy Hill, the last 2 that have to hit pit road. Saw a couple more just come down. Heim's got about 5 seconds between himself and Zane Smith. Daniel Dye just working his way off of pit road after he pitted from the lead. Only leading in the middle of green flag pit stops, of course, not before it. Heim continues to work himself through lap traffic. He's lapped quite a few cars, especially with being the first to pit road from the lead. It was an interesting strategy. Don't usually see that. Trying to stay ahead of the curve, and it worked for him. Caught a little bit of a break with Caden Honeycutt not having a great pit stop for the 45 team. Now just 13 trucks on the lead lap here at Kansas. And still coming up on 32 laps to go this time by. We still got our last of the leaders to hit pit road. Mason Massey going to pit from the lead. Corey Heim back out in front again at Kansas. So he came into the green flag pit stops with the lead. After green flag pit stops, he is still the leader. Timmy Hill still has to hit pit road. He's the last driver that has to pit yet. Massey's on pit road, as I mentioned already. That's how he surrendered the lead. So once Timmy Hill pits, we'll have our full leaderboard. And now that Dye did also pit from the lead, that gives more drivers their lap back if we were to get a caution. It was 13. Now that Heim's back in the lead, it's back to 23 trucks on the lead lap. But that number will slowly get smaller the longer this green flag run goes, even if it goes to the very end. So coming up on 30 laps to go this time by. I mean, ideally, Timmy Hill can run this fuel run out probably another 15 or so laps, give or take. But he's definitely going to have to pit before the end, obviously, because we just saw everybody pit before the end. So he will not have enough fuel to last him. Which at this point, being in fourth and knowing how many cars are in the lead lap, you would think pitting now would be more beneficial. I don't know how many sets of tires these teams have. I mean, maybe that's the only thing that they're thinking is if they get a late caution. I don't know if there's a set of tires remaining for everybody else or not. Kind of interesting to try to figure that out. Yeah, 3.3 second lead between Heim and Smith. It was 5 seconds. That last lap, Zane Smith was about 4/10 quicker than Heim. And that last lap, he was about 0.8 of a second quicker. I think Heim's just catching these lap trucks in terrible spots or something. Because Zane Smith is coming. Okay, he was 5 seconds off the lead right as soon as the green flag stops are done. And now he's only 2.5 seconds back and still closing. And we still got 29 laps to go. 28, excuse me. About to be 27. Heim works his way off turn 4. Full field running order. Outside of course, Timmy Hill still having to pit. Corey Heim has, again, a 2.5 second lead over Zane Smith in second. Christian Eckes is third. Caden Honeycutt currently fourth. Brett Moffitt in fifth. Timmy Hill sixth. Tanner Gray seventh. Eighth place for Nick Sanchez. Taylor Gray ninth. And Bailey Curry is 10th. Matt Crafton in 11th. Daniel Dye 12th. Dean Thompson 13th. Grant Enfinger 14th. Roger Caruth 15th. 16th is Brett Holmes. Ty Dillon 17th. Ben Rhodes 18th. 19th is Jake Garcia. And the first truck one lap down is Stuart Friesen in 20th. 21st is Lane Riggs, Connor Mosak is 22nd. Tyler Ankrum 23rd. Lawless Allen 24th. Cam Waters 25th. 26th place is Thad Moffitt 27th for Mason Massey. Matt Mills 28th. Chase Purdy 29th. And Mason Maggio is 30th. 31st, Spencer Boyd. Jennifer Joe Cobb 32nd. And the last driver is Ty Majeski, who is the only driver who has DNF'd. 53 laps led and counting for our current race leader, Corey Heim. Couple tenths quicker than Smith that last lap, so Smith cut it to 2.5 seconds, now back to 2.8 to 2.9 back. Smith has led the second most laps led today with 29. And we've had several different drivers lead during the midst of green flag pit stops or just winning the race off pit road like Eckes did in the 2 pit stops that took place under caution. So if these teams do have another set of tires left and we do get a caution before the finish, maybe look out for the 19 team to potentially win a race off pit road. Try to go for the win that way. Probably say it's their best chance considering the 2 fastest trucks in the field are still in front of them 1-2 on the grid. You really argue which one's faster. It just seems to be who has the track position is faster between Heim and Smith. Smith's going to try to make this a battle to the end, though. It's not over yet. It's still 24 to go. I mean, we're about a dozen minutes or so out from the finish of this race. Anything could happen. That's if it stays green. Well, time is not necessarily on Zane Smith's side yet. Oh, we may get a caution. Hang on. Right front tire's down on Taylor Gray, Right front tire down on Taylor Gray's race truck. He is smoking, but he is on the apron. There's no debris. Gray trying to limp his way back to pit road. It's just a matter of will that tire carcass stay on the car long enough to get into the pits, and it seems to be the case. So I'm not sure if it was maybe contact with the wall or another driver, or maybe none of the above, and maybe it was just a natural cause that cut the right front tire down on Taylor Gray's race truck. Tough break, though. Especially this late in the race. And he definitely got against the wall. looked to be in turns 1 and 2, where Gray had gotten up against the wall, and that's what cut his right front tire down. Dean Thompson, Daniel Dye battling for 10th. So a top 10 position on the line. Still a 2.5 second lead at the top of the leaderboard between the top two. Christian Atkins is only 3.5 seconds back in third as well. And Caden Honeycutt still camped down in fourth at 4.5 seconds off the lead. Brett Moffitt is in fifth. And that rounds out your top five. Again, Corey Heim leads, Zane Smith second, Christian Atkins third, Caden Honeycutt fourth, Brett Moffitt fifth. We have one more ad break to get out here. We got 20 laps to go, so we'll hit that right now because I'm not sure if we're going to get another caution or not in this race. Better safe than sorry. You're listening live to the Heart of America 200 at Kansas Speedway on KRC. Like, subscribe, comment in the chat. And let's try to get to our goal of 100 likes on the stream. Right now we're at 83. Once again, be sure to hit that like button so we can get to our goal of 100 likes. Again, the goal is to get to 100 likes. We're 17 away. Dean Thompson moving past Matt Crafton for 9th place. Looks like a commercial break on Fox Sports 1 as well, so maybe it was a good time for us to go to break when we did. 16 trucks on the lead lap. Honestly, the lap times Crafton's running, I don't think he's going to finish in the top 10. The last lap, he was 14th fastest truck, and he's in 10th. So that means the next 3 positions behind him. Actually, it was the 15th fastest lap, that last lap for Crafton. So yeah, Crafton's in danger of falling back another spot or two. And if he does finish outside the top 10, again, no Fords will finish in the top 10, assuming it stays green to the end. In fact, not only Matt Crafton's the only Ford in the top 10, he's the only Ford on the lead lap. Ben Rhodes in 16th is now the first truck a lap down, as during this commercial break he has gone a lap down. Ty Dillon is next to lose a lap here very shortly. And although Zane Smith was able to get within 2.5 seconds of Heim there initially after the green flag pit stops, was clicking away good lap times, they've kind of been trading lap times back and forth with each other, where Heim would put a couple together that are faster than Smith and vice versa. They keep flip-flopping it, and the lead has been fluctuating between 2.2 to 2.8 seconds pretty much since we hit about 30 to go in this race, which is about 15 laps ago. And last lap, Zane Smith was 0.2 quicker again. He's back down to 2.7 seconds off the lead again as a result. See where we're at on the like counter. We're at 87. We are at 87 likes. We've got 13 to go to get to our goal. So again, 13 likes to get to our goal of 100. Let's do it, ladies and gents. Let's go 2 for 2 for our like counter goal on the day. Now Dillon has lost that lap. As I mentioned, it looked like he was going to lose it soon. He did. So 14 trucks down to being on the lead lap. Biggest gap in the top 10 interval-wise is the gap between 5th and 6th, about 5 seconds between Moffitt and Sanchez. Last lap, Zane Smith only 0.05 of a second quicker than Corey Heim. I'm doing a great job. He's getting through the lap traffic well. So is Zane Smith for that matter, but these two are just so equal. A 5-second gap is going to be tough to overcome.
You want to make sure they are better at come playoff time. Well, that different setup has been pretty good for them, but they're not looking for pretty good. They're looking for lights out, and they just haven't been lights out tonight as they've constantly been battling a tight truck. So a good top 5 truck, but not the winning truck they've been looking for.
I would say threes are wild tonight for Christian Eckes. Third in stage 1, third in stage 2, and third here with 13 laps to go in the race.
Got a comfortable couple seconds over Honeycutt right now, who's running in the 4th spot, but you see left side of his screen, Brett Moffitt. What a nice run for Brett Moffitt. First time in a race vehicle this year. Last time he was in a truck, Adam, what happened?
He won, Talladega.
He won.
Hey, by the way, Eckes tonight leading, paying off, he's led, let's see here, 11 laps. He's led laps in every race this season. That's impressive.
All 8 of them. What a year.
There's that beautiful number 1 truck for Brett Moffitt we talked about. Top 5. Great run for the champ. His way toward the checker flag.
I just sit here looking at, the Corey Hine with about a 2-second advantage over Zane Smith. Another 2 seconds back to Eckes. We've got 11 laps to go. And you know what could happen if something happened. How do you want to say it? I don't want to jinx it for Corey Hine.
Are you speaking of the caution flag, Phil?
Well, you said it. I didn't say it.
You're going to bunch them up and ask them to be nice to each other? I don't know.
How about these restarts?
Oh, that's that famous Phil Parsons line. You know what can happen if something happens.
How about Zane Smith now? He's making up some ground.
Yes,
Corey
he
Hine.
is.
Got it down under 2 seconds. Last time by, a couple of tenths better
He's digging.
than the 11 truck.
Felt like it was pretty consistent there, right around 3 seconds, but here we are. 1.8 with 10 to go.
Trucks are pretty well scattered out. That's good news for that 11 truck. Nobody pressured each other too hard here late in the going. There you see Chase Purdy.
Yeah, he's had some issues. He's being shown now 3 laps down. This will probably put him 4 laps down, but another good run for this guy right here, Daniel Dye, coming off his best finish of the year at Texas 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago with a 6th. Another top 10 going here.
You see that yellow truck behind him there? That's Matt Craftsman. He spent the majority of this race inside the
To another, right behind Crafton. Grant Enfinger is 12th, won here last spring, made the championship 4 a season ago.
That's probably about his highest running position of this race. We saw Grant early in the race outside the top 20, but Jeff Stankiewicz, the crew chief, and the team has worked on that truck, made it better. Right now, we only have 14 trucks on the lead lap, and certainly Grant Enfinger, one of those here running 12th.
Look at that progress, though. This is the best position they've been in, like you said, Phil. But this is the kind of thing you can build on. This is a new team, as we mentioned earlier. He needs a good steady run as we start this 5-race stretch here, week after week, going to battle. You perform like this, and you're like, we're just a notch away from knocking on the door of a top 10, top 5.
Raja Caruth behind him in 13th. Quite early, made that run into the top 10. Something went wrong with the 71, and they were outside the top 20 when we made those green flag pit stops. But they've come to life once again, 13th. And you mentioned 14 trucks on the lead lap. Let's celebrate the success of Brett Holmes, who's in the top 15 right now, running 14th.
Last truck on the lead lap. Brett's doing a nice job. There's that beautiful 32 truck.
He's a former winner here in the ARCA Menard Series, a former champion as well.
Just steady progression. Started 24th, stayed there at the end of stage 1, but it's been moving forward since then. That's nice progress.
Yeah, Mike Shiplett coming on board this year to call the shots and certainly paying dividends.
We've told you about all the trucks on the lead lap. 5 laps remaining for the man on point, Corey Hine.
Looking for win number 2 of the season in that Tricon Toyota.
Not finished outside the top 10 all year. Hasn't hardly ever finished out of the top 10 in his career, truthfully.
Tonight would be his 23rd top 10 in the last 24 races.
Yeah.
That's remarkable.
There's Dean Thompson battling with Bailey Curry. Daniel Dye looking on. This is all inside the top 10. Daniel's liking them battling. He can charge up there and try to grab 9th away from Curry.
He's got Dean Thompson to draft off of on the bottom of the racetrack. Not quite able to clear Curry.
Down to 4 laps to go, and the lead is still 1.7 seconds between Corey Hine and Zane Smith at the very front of the field. 5-second gap back to Christian Eckes in 3rd. Honeycutt is 7.5 back, and 8.5 back is Brett Moffitt in 5th. And also down to still 14 trucks on the lead lap. Holmes, the last of which on the lead lap, is the next truck in front of the race leader, Corey Heim. Heim looking to start the season 8 for 8 in top 10 finishes and get a second win of the year, which would match Christian Eckes for the most of the Truck Series regulars. Also match him with Kyle Busch on that list, who is a Cup regular but has won 2 truck races this season. And he's only finished outside the top 5 twice. In fact, he's only finished outside the top 3 twice this season in 8 races, assuming he seals the deal here. He's just trying to get to the white flag at this point. It would signify the next flag ends the race. And although Zane Smith has picked it up a little bit, I think Corey Heim might be, I'm not going to say necessarily taking it easy, but working with the lead he has. That lead was about, obviously, 5 seconds at one point, but even 1.7, 1.8 a lap or two ago. He's going to get to the white flag. 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Lead is down to 1 second, but again, he's just managing that gap over Zane Smith. Whole line of lap trucks in front of him. Doesn't have to pass another one if he doesn't want to. Cuts to the inside of the racetrack. And he'll just sit right behind Lawless Allen here to the checker. Checkered flag waving. Corey Heim is going to win at Kansas. It's Heim time once again. Time in the prime time. Corey Heim is the race winner. Third driver to win 2 races in the Truck Series this season in the first 8 races. Zane Smith brings it home in second after winning stage 2. Good playoff point day for Heim. Not only gets the 5 with the win, but also won a stage earlier today in stage 1. 6 playoff points carry over for him. And that works his way even closer to points leader Christian Eckes in the battle for an additional 15 playoff points if he can win the regular season championship. Behind Zane Smith in second, Christian Eckes finishes in third. 4th place finish for Caden Honeycutt, who finished top 5 in every stage today. Great job for him. Brett Moffitt finishes in 5th after starting in the back half of the field. Nick Sanchez 6th, Tanner Gray 7th, Dean Thompson 8th, Daniel Dye 9th. Matt Crafton rounds out the top 10 today to get Crafton the only Ford on the lead lap and in the top 15. 11th place finish for Bailey Curry, Grant Enfinger 12th, 13th for Raja Caruth, 14th for Brett Holmes. First truck 1 lap down, and 15th was Ty Dillon. Ben Rhodes 16th, 17th for Jake Garcia, 18th for Lane Riggs, Cam Waters 19th, Tyler Ankrum 20th, 21st for Mason Massey, 22nd Timmy Hill, 23rd Matt Mills, Thad Moffitt 24th, Stuart Friesen 25th, 26th place finish for Lawless Allen, Taylor Gray 27th, Chase Purdy 28th, Mason Maggio 29th, and Connor Mosack finishes 30th. 31st for Spencer Boyd, Jennifer Jo Cobb 32nd, and Ty Majeski 33rd, rounding out the 33 truck field. Only DNF was from Majeski. In last, Heim led the most laps en route to his win here today, with 79 laps led. He led 4 different times. Again, he won stage 1 as well as winning the race. Only 3 cautions and 1 for incident. The only caution for incident all the way back on lap 2, turn 1. I think at that moment we were thinking maybe it's going to be one of those caution-filled races. It was not. That was the only caution for incident. Very clean race again here for the Truck Series this season, and another one on the 1.5 mile, which we tend to see with the Truck Series. Zane Smith led 29 laps. Christian Eckes led 11. 1 lap led for Nick Sanchez, Caden Honeycutt. 4 laps led for Daniel Dye. Chase Purdy led the first 7 from the pole. And the 02 truck during green flag pit stops of Mason Massey led a couple. Got an argument on pit road between Lane Riggs, it looks like, and I can't tell who he is getting heated with on pit road. But a couple of upset drivers. Somebody who's not upset is the guy in the tri-oval about to be interviewed after winning the race. That would be Corey Heim.
When your team comes out, you get to celebrate with the guys that worked so hard to put that truck where you can drive to victory lane.
Corey's going to get to celebrate this win, have a nice night, and then race 400 miles tomorrow.
And I guarantee you would want it any other way. He's going to give the flag to a fan. There it is.
Let's hear from the winner. Down to Jamie.
We heard him say over the radio right after taking the checkered flag, this thing has a lot of potential. Talking about the fact that it's a brand new truck coming out of the Tricon garage built just for these mile and a half. The last time you won, Corey, was also in a brand new truck. When your team is able to give you the equipment that you need to perform, what do you do when you get back to the shop to continue building?
It's just can't say enough about these guys at Tricon Garage, man. I mean, just top to bottom, we executed so well today. The pit crew, everyone back at the shop at Tricon Garage, just what a truck. I mean, definitely struggled with being free for most of the race, so I can't say it was easy, but I mean, even with the balance I had, this truck has so much more potential to get better. So I'm kind of out of breath right now. That was the handful of the last 30 laps, but huge thank you to Tricon Garage, Total Racing, safe flight. Everyone back at TRD just really wanted this one today and drove my butt off for it.
The numbers that you've been able to put up this season are just nothing short of impressive. Everyone in the field, you have the target on your back week after week. What do you do personally to make sure that you're ready for the challenge?
Just keep getting better, keeping that gap ahead of the second place guy is the main thing. I feel like we were so due in this place, and I really wanted this win today, so I knew we were going to be capable of winning today. It's about putting some more consistency together for the rest of the year and going after that championship.
Congratulations on the win. That's Corey Hine. The time, Adam.
Well, Zane Smith comes home second here tonight, led 29 laps, and it felt like if that race went a little bit longer, you might have been able to catch the 11.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised with how much we caught him there at the very end. Just can't lose 8 spots on pit road is a good start, but appreciate everyone at MHR, Instacoat, Team Chevy, just everyone. Just felt like that one kind of got away there. Thanks, Zane. Adam.
3 trucks from McAnally Hilgeman Racing finish inside the top 10, led by Zane Smith, who was second. And he was the runner-up to this guy, Corey Hine. He gets his first Kansas win, his second of the year. No doubt, his star is rising.
1 second was the margin of victory between Heim and Smith, but it felt like a lot more than that due to the dominance that Heim had, especially in that final stage. Again, he led over half the race. That final green flag run was the entirety of stage 3. 67-lap green flag run to the checker. Again, the longest of the day. And as far as the other race stats go, 129.21 mile per hour average race speed. 1 hour, 30 minutes, 53 seconds total time of the race following the drop of the green flag in the Heart of America 200 at Kansas. So we finished under a regulation length, of course, with that being said, of 200 miles, 134 laps. We got 400 miles more of racing coming your way tomorrow on the channel, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, 2:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow afternoon, our live commentary coverage of the NASCAR Cup Series Advent Health 400 at the Kansas Speedway. That's going to wrap up our stream here on this Saturday night. Appreciate everybody that tuned in for this one. We'll see what we're at on likes before we get out of here. Our goal was to get to 100. And we are at 95. We can't end the stream yet. We got to get to 100. We have got to get to 100. We are at 95 likes. Yeah, we can't end the stream. But by the way, just a fair warning. I'm not asking for any like pity or sympathy, but I really hope that this doesn't take long to get to 100 likes because I do have to work tomorrow morning. I've been up very early, pulled an OT shift earlier today, pulling another one tomorrow. But I will be back in plenty of time for tomorrow's stream. I'll make sure I get my notes out and ready to go, obviously, for the pre-race predictions as well. Yeah, definitely a clean truck race. 97 likes is what we're at now. We're 3 away from our goal. Got to get to 100 before we end this stream. Now we're at 98. We're 2 away. We are getting there. Again, congratulations to Corey Hine, the race winner here tonight. Still at 98. We get any other post-race interviews here before they go off the air, you'll get to listen into that. While we are still on the air, we're 1 like away from 100. Here's Christian Eckes while we're waiting to get to 100 likes.
Head to the playoffs. After the race now, how do you feel about how that all played out for you guys? I feel a lot better about it than I did during practice, that's for sure. Yeah, the Adaptive 1 Chevy was a little bit off tonight. I just struggled with tight all day. And the track kept changing and changing and changing. And we just couldn't keep up with it enough. So we got a little bit of work to do still, but I like the direction that we're heading. And yeah, just excited for these coming weeks, just getting better for the playoffs. Another top 10 finish for Christian Eckes, Jamie.
Well, we saw Caden Honeycutt come up through the field early on, put up those impressive numbers. You were the quickest truck on the racetrack for several of those laps. The job that the team did to put you in there tonight, what can you say about this?
I can't say enough about Phil Gould, Frank, Cole, Devin, Tanner, for all my guys for building an amazing truck. Obviously I wanted to be better there myself. Just needed to clean up on pit road. I lost too much time on pit road, so just go back and look at it and be better. I just want to thank, first of all, I won't even be here without Al Neese, Cody Fall, Tony Valento for all the support that I get from them, my mom and dad as well. Without them, I wouldn't even be here at Kansas or doing any truck racing whatsoever. So I just want to thank them. Also, Neese Products of Kansas, Chevrolet, RDC Shoe Company, Darren Davis. I know he's really excited for Charlotte, so yeah, that'll be a heck of a race. So myself, I'm gonna get better, and it sucks. Definitely sucks to come that close and not finish the job off. But still, great run. You gotta crawl before you walk, right? So this is the start of something of our part-time schedule. Hopefully, we'll click our first win off at Charlotte in a couple weeks.
You certainly proved that you're worthy to be here. Nice job.
That's just impressive, and you can see how humble the kid.
There's Caden Honeycutt following his 4th place finish here tonight. Again, thanks for everybody tuning in. That will wrap it up. We have hit our goal of 100 likes on the stream, so greatly appreciate it. Yeah, that was the sirens around Kansas City. That was not the sirens at my house. So you heard that outside the Kansas Speedway. Hopefully everything's okay there, and hopefully everything's okay with you guys. Again, I'll see you tomorrow afternoon, 2:30 Eastern Time. Have a good rest of your Saturday night, everybody. See you back better than ever again tomorrow for some NASCAR Cup racing at Kansas.